I decided to embark on an ambitious project, creating a DIY miniature realistic Oreo shop house. This may sound simple, but it's actually an incredible adventure. From choosing materials, to gluing each small piece and drawing every detail, every step brings an emotional experience. The first morning, I woke up with a feeling of excitement and a bright smile. Sunlight filtered through the window, illuminating the room and making everything seem bright. Today I will start the Oreo mini shop project, I told myself in the mirror. I felt like an artist who had just found abundant inspiration. I couldn't wait any longer. I quickly ate breakfast and prepared to leave the house. I decided to start by choosing materials. The local craft store becomes the first stop. Upon arriving, I felt like I was lost in another world with hundreds of different materials, all neatly and invitingly displayed. I started walking around the shelves. Stiff paper is the first thing I need. I choose sheets of paper with the right thickness and hardness, pure white like new sheets of paper for students at the beginning of the school year. Then I moved on to the glue area. There are so many types of glue to choose from: water glue, milk glue, hot glue. In the end, I chose the multi-purpose glue that the seller recommended with the promise: sticks tightly like glue to a couple's soul. Next, I need paint to color my mini shop. The pink area is a vibrant palette, from basic colors to shimmering hues. I chose primary colors like white, black, and brown to color the fake Oreos. In addition, I also chose a few bright colors to decorate the shop space, hoping to create an eye-catching visual effect. The most interesting part was when I went to the tiny plastic beads area to make fake candy and Oreos. There are plastic beads of all colors, shapes, and sizes. I chose dark brown plastic beads that look like tiny Oreo cookies. Treasure was indeed found, I thought to myself and couldn't stop laughing to myself. My shopping cart was quickly filled with all kinds of materials. I approached the checkout counter with a bright smile and unconcealed excitement. The salesperson looked at me with curious eyes. Perhaps they also noticed the joy in my eyes. After paying, I hugged my bags tightly and quickly returned home. Come on, let's turn these into a masterpiece, I said to myself as I crossed the threshold. I felt like a magician with ingredients ready to transform into magic. This exciting and challenging journey officially begins here, with unshakable faith and determination. The first day of assembly was not as smooth as I expected. The house frame is the most important part, and I chose cardboard as the main material, which seemed like a simple and easy choice. But when I started cutting paper and gluing them together, I quickly realized that I was not as good at this as I imagined. First of all, cutting the paper was a big challenge. My scissors weren't sharp enough, and each cut left uneven, jagged lines. Oh my God, how can I be beautiful if I cut it like this? I sighed, trying to concentrate more. But the harder I tried, the worse the results. The paper kept getting wrinkled, not aligned, and looked like a work of abstract art. When it comes to gluing the pieces of paper together, things get even more confusing. Glue is all over my hands, sometimes even on my face. Okay, it's okay. Let's try again, I told myself, trying to stay calm. But each time I tried, it was more frustrating. The paper kept getting wrinkled, the glue was uneven, and the pieces of paper refused to stick together. At times, I felt like I wanted to give up. But patience and passion kept me going. I tried different methods, from using tape to temporarily hold the pieces of paper, to using heavy objects to press down on them to let the glue dry. But each try is a failure. Why is this so difficult? I said while looking at the pile of wrinkled paper in front of me. Finally, after a long day of struggling, I had a frame that was okay, but looked like a crushed pizza box. The corners are uneven, the joints are loose, and the whole frame looks ridiculous. Is this the frame of my house? I smiled brightly, looking at my work without knowing whether to be happy or sad. Even though things aren't perfect, I console myself that this is just the first step. It's okay, everything will be fine, I told myself, filled with hope and determination. I know that there are still many challenges awaiting, but I am ready to face them all, because the dream of a perfect Oreo mini store is always bright in my heart. The next step in the journey of creating a mini Oreo store is to make the small details inside the store. Every detail, even the smallest, must be meticulously cared for to create a lively store. I decided to start with making cake shelves, an indispensable part of any pastry shop. The tiny wooden slats were carefully selected by me. They look like real wooden bars but are small in size, perfect for creating miniature cake shelves. I started cutting these wooden bars into small pieces according to the calculated size. The sound of scissors cutting would resound steadily, creating a pleasant rhythm, like the music of this handicraft work. Once cut, I started gluing them together. This step requires skill and precision. Each wooden bar must be glued in the correct position so that the cake shelf does not become misaligned. I carefully applied glue to each end of the wooden slats, then joined them together. Tiny cake shelves gradually appear before your eyes, looking like real cake shelves, ready to display tiny Oreo cakes. When I finished gluing the cake shelves, I looked at my work with joy. But then I suddenly realized that I forgot to paint them. Son, where is the paint? I muttered to myself, a feeling of regret starting to appear. I searched everywhere to find the bottle of paint I bought earlier. I ransacked all the drawers, cabinets, even under the bed. Finally, after a tiring search, I found the paint bottle. But my joy quickly disappeared when I opened the bottle and saw that the paint had long since dried. Great! How now? I smiled bitterly, looking at the rock-hard paint bottle in my hand. With no other choice, I decided to go buy new paint. I went to my usual craft store again, which provided me with so many materials to complete this project. When I arrived, I picked up a new bottle of paint, this time a better paint, guaranteed not to dry out in a short time. The salesperson looked at me with friendly eyes and said, "This time it will definitely be fine." Returning home with a new bottle of paint, I continued my work. I started painting the cake shelves, each smooth layer of paint covering the wooden surface, turning the tiny wooden slats into perfect cake shelves. Pure white paint highlights every small detail, creating an elegant and professional beauty for my mini store. Looking at the completed cake shelves, I felt an indescribable joy. Every small detail contains my effort and enthusiasm. Even though there were difficulties and challenges, when I look back at the results, I know that all the efforts were worth it. And from here, my Oreo mini store began to take shape more clearly, step by step closer to my dream. Finally, I get to the fun part, making fake Oreos. This is the part one look forward to the most, because it not only requires meticulousness, but also stimulates my creativity. To make these tiny cakes, I decided to use clay, a material that is easy to shape and can be colored as desired. To start work, I took out each lump of dark brown clay and started kneading them into small circles. Each Oreo cookie needs to be carefully shaped, from the grooves on the surface to a uniform size. I used small tools to create the distinctive lines of the Oreo cookie. Once I finished creating the cake, I went on to make the white cream filling, much smaller but no less important. Once the cake parts were complete, I put them together, trying to make each cake look as realistic as possible. Here it is, the perfect tiny Oreo, I thought to myself, feeling filled with excitement. Next, I used paint to color the cakes. This is a step that requires extreme patience, because with just one mistake, the entire cake can be ruined. I used a small brush to meticulously paint each line on the cake, from the dark brown color of the cake to the white color of the cream layer. Each completed cake is a small work of art, containing not only my effort but also my love and passion. One time, while concentrating on coloring, I accidentally dropped a tiny Oreo cake. The cake rolled around on the table, then fell to the floor and disappeared under the table. I quickly bent down to search, but the cake seemed to have disappeared. Where did it go? I muttered, searching and imagining the tiny Oreo cake hiding in a corner somewhere, like a naughty child. I giggled as I pictured the little Oreo hiding behind the table leg, trying to hide from my searching eyes. After a while of searching, I finally found it lying under the table. I picked it up, breathed a sigh of relief, and continued my work. Every time I look back at the fake Oreo cookies I made, I feel happy and proud. Even though they are just tiny cakes, they represent my passion and perseverance. They are not just decorative objects, but also a testament to endless efforts and creativity. Looking at these cute little Oreo cookies, I know that I am one step closer to my dream of creating the perfect Oreo mini store. After many days of hard work, it's finally time to assemble and complete the mini house. Everything gradually appeared before our eyes, from cake shelves, tiny tables, to fake Oreo cookies. I feel really happy when I see my results. Finally, my DIY miniature realistic shop Oreo house is complete. Every time I look at it, I remember the funny and challenging moments along the way. Even though there are times when I'm tired and frustrated, I still have no regrets. It was a great experience, and I felt proud of myself. I decided to share my results on social networks. I posted photos of the mini house along with funny stories about the making process. Friends and relatives all enjoyed and praised it. Some people even asked me to make them a similar mini house. Through this project, I learned many things. I learned how to be patient, how to solve problems, and how to enjoy every moment, even the smallest. And most of all, I realized that there is nothing better than creating something with your own hands. Finally, I sat looking at my DIY miniature realistic shop Oreo house, feeling pride and happiness filling my heart. This is not only a handmade product, but also a beautiful memory, an emotional journey, and a proud achievement. Creating the DIY miniature realistic shop Oreo house was a wonderful and fun experience. Although there are difficulties and challenges, in the end, everything is worth it. This is a beautiful memory and a proud achievement that I will forever remember.